she's like, I like being big, okay? And I said, okay. She said that she would like to be introduced to new people as Her Royal Highness, Queen of the Universe, Ginger. And I said, oh my, that's a mouthful.
Oh my goodness.
To shush and, you know, genuflect and everything. She said she's very well bred. Do you have her paperwork? Do you know?
No.
Well, she's got some on her dad's side. She's got some good blood work. I remember she said everyone told her that she's from like royalty. That's why she, you know.
Oh
So I said okay. And she thought early on she was supposed to be a broodmare, and it feels like she had 3 babies, and then she was kind of over it. So, but she said I was kind of done with the whole thing. Someone has owned her who was actually crossed over. So is that the person that you got her from?
She
said someone in spirit comes to visit her, and it's a gentleman. And she said, and he was very good to me, and he was kind of about your dad's height, you know, that. And she said, and he was very good to me. And she said, when he crossed over, she said, I really thought my life was over. So she was more a guy's horse than she was a lady's horse.
Really?
So, and then when I asked her about you guys getting together, she said, well, I really checked you out because you have very balanced energy. She's like, I don't do divas, you know, I don't do drama queens. It's one thing to be upset about something, but you don't hold on to it for very long. And she's like, I don't dig that. So she said she's still happy to be ridden. She's only semi-retired. She likes getting out there and doing stuff. And she said, I still go out and play like a wild woman, you know, stir the dust up and everything. So, and she likes kind of doing the sliding stop stuff. Has she done that with you? Where she
we did try doing that.
Yeah, but she said when she's playing in the arena, she like, watch me do this. So she kind of gets a kick out of that. She thinks that's very cool. Most of the time, like I said, she does not feel 21 at all. Age is a feeling.
Doesn't act like it.
You know, age is a feeling. So when I asked her how old she feels like, she's like, maybe 16 or 17. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I had a senior citizen that was 25, so I have a very soft spot for senior citizen. She said her hips get a little stiff, and sometimes if she wants a little drama, she's like, I'm really feeling kind of tired today, you know, a little drama just to see what you're going to do. And then we're like, well, I'm not coming down here for, oh, I think I'm fine now, you know, so there's a little bit of violins in the background, so. Okay, so that's kind of what she started off with. What kind of things can I ask her for you that would be of help to you? What would you like to know from her?
She has an issue with her front feet being chewed. We have to drug her. We had a farrier for a while.
Oh my gosh.
No problem. Wow. He came up, never met her. She was perfect with him. She would close her eyes, relax, and then he fell off the face of the earth and won't call me back. And now we have to drug her again. Okay. She lets me.
She's got a lot of rotation in her feet. Okay, so I'm not saying it's totally a pain thing, but she said you have to know how to pick them up a certain way that she doesn't feel like she's going to fall over. So that's where it comes from. So you might, I don't know if it would help, but they do have magnetic growl bands that you can kind of Velcro onto a halter, and the magnets sometimes keep them balanced. You can probably find them online. I think Talk A Lot has a magnet, but she said that's why it's so difficult for me. And then when you give her drugs, she's like, well, then you guys have to worry about drugs.
Yeah.
But it's not like I'm being dominant. She doesn't want to be difficult. It's really not her agenda to be that way. Also, have you had her chiropractic at all?
No.
You might want to look into that. I think Dr. Don Moore comes here. He's really good at stuff because they have 2 TMJ joints like we do below their ear. And why is that so significant? They recently found within the last 4 years that if these sliders shift out, then it causes both of their both feet to be out of balance. And she said before she knew you, she never liked to be tied, and she would pull back a lot.
She has had
so she does when she pops those out. So it'll also cause a horse to be uncomfortable about even getting into a trailer, or when they get into a trailer to scramble because they're off balance. Okay. So when I lecture as a clinician, I'll say to people, you know, when you go into an elevator, everybody has their place. Some people in the middle, and if you're not in your place, you feel uncomfortable. Why is that? Because your ears are out of balance. That's the same thing for them. So I would get her adjusted, see if that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Try the magnet brow band. If you try it, you can leave it on for 5 or 10 minutes and then take her for a walk. Usually they kind of try to flip it off their head because they can feel something happening, they don't know what, and then take it, build up to a time. But my first horse was that way, that I used to put it on him and he'd be like, I'm good, and I could pick up any foot. If I didn't have it on him, he felt like he was going to fall over.
Really?
So it's more about balance than anything else. And the other guy who she really liked somehow got that. You know, he kind of would go to her foot and wait, and she'd be like, okay. And then because of his core strength, he was able to support her so she didn't feel like she was falling over. So that's kind of what was going on. But her back feels really good, her kidneys feel really good, her hormones, she's like, menopause, hey, it's not so bad, you know. So I said, okay, you know, so that's not really bothering her too much. She loves this having a space, and in the wintertime, do you put extra shavings down, or this is pretty much the surface that they have?
It's pretty much, I try to keep it dry and more, and yeah.
Because she would appreciate like having some shavings in the corner in case she wanted to lay down.
Okay.
She said, I like my fruit cut up, I am a lady. And I said, okay. Loves having her picture taken, and also she wants to have a glam shot with you and her, where you're kind of doing one of these, one of these things.
Yeah.
And then she wants it like 10 by 12, pretty big in your house kind of thing, the shrine. You are a redhead. You definitely are a redhead.
Yeah.
Okay, other things that you can think of that would be of help to you to ask her, what would you like to know?
Just anything about her past.
Okay. Well, she said she did quite a bit of showing with this gentleman, but it was more like, she keeps saying it's presentation. Like he really wasn't a trainer per se, but he was called on to do like people would watch her carrying around, but it wasn't a horse show. So she said it was like a demo horse, and I said cow. She's like no. It seemed like it was what I would think like cowboy dressage, because he always had a western saddle, but he would ask her to side pass and that kind of stuff. Yeah. So she said so it was kind of like a little demo kind of thing. And I said, well, was he really a trainer? And maybe that's what he was starting to do, because they would go to different places. Like she's been to Sacramento and and done like little events and stuff like that. So she said I was kind of that kind of a show horse, not a competitive show horse. So that's really that guy. Other than you, was the love of her life. And when he comes and visits, she really likes saying hi to him. So she said Joe is his name is Joe. Everybody used to say, hey Joe. She loved Ginger. She was definitely a Ginger. And she said, if I look at my face, I don't know. She goes one of these kind of thing. Like, are you paying attention to me? So she's cool.
Like her not.
So they don't know their own mortality, but I saw a horse 2 weeks ago that was 43.
Oh,
and they knew
my
how old he
gosh.
was, and he was great.
He was 43.
He's totally retired. He moseys around, says hi to all the kids, visit every horse on the property and stuff. So she doesn't feel age.
Awesome.
Her feet are good, digestion's good, everything else internally feels good. So I would say good night and good morning. I had a cat that was 22 before she passed away. They really teach us to live in the moment. You ask her a question right on the money. I said, is your mom on her way? Yeah, I feel like she's on her way. So cool. There was some other car came and she goes, no, that's not my mom's car. So she did. So that's pretty cool. I like her a lot. She also thought that she kind of bumped into your life, like you weren't really totally planning on her, and so she's like, I'm glad we got along, because with the wrong person she would have really knocked heads. She's not a horse that you just march in and do things with. There are horses that are like that. They're grooms. That's who they're, but like I like people asking me, treating me with respect, and that kind of stuff. So she's your brother. You're so cute.
So cool.
She said, I'm fabulous.
She's what? She's fabulous.
She's fabulous.
She is.
Yeah, she's cool. But she really appreciates that you take good care of her. Some animals that are that way are like, I want this, I want that. She's like, when you take care of her, she's like, thank you for doing this. When you stop by, she's like, thanks for checking in with me. And if you just want to drive one down, like a lot of people think, oh, if I'm not going to ride them, I shouldn't come to the barn. She's like, if you've had a bad day, come and just dish it. Like, I don't like my boss, my boyfriend pissed me off or whatever. She's like, just talk to her. Where a lot of animals don't want to do that, she's very much a cup of coffee. She's like, I'd like to know how you're doing. And if you just want to hang out, that's fine. Bring your Starbucks and just dish it. That's good. It's all good. So cool. So that's cool. So Dr. Ginger, I'm listening. Yeah. Oh, that's a good spot. Oh, yeah. Old show grooms never die. They just look that way. Oh, Wilbur. Okay. Well, she feels good. Okay, so other than the front feet thing, now you get that. Anything else that you wanted to ask her?
I think you've covered it.
Okay, good. She said the only thing that would be better is if she was in your bed.
Yeah. Aww.
Other than that, she said life is pretty good. So.
Cool. Oh God, that's fun.
So Mom's gonna have to do the glam shot. She's gonna have someone come down and Grandma bring her camera and she can have a little makeup on and you can have your hair done and have a nice picture for Christmas maybe and put it up on the wall. Because she said the rest of the time I like being like this.
Yeah.
I can clean up with my name too, but most of the time the jeans kind of cool.
Yeah.
She's cool. I mean, she's not a horse that anybody could just mess with. If she didn't like it, she'd stop and go, get the hell out. So she has some other things. So I was talking with some of the other people here this morning. Some horses are night horses all night long. She has like the 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. shift. Oh. So if you were to come down here really early in the morning, she's already had it. She's up all night. Yeah. But some horses do it the whole night, when she does shifts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, Gingy. I'm doing okay. It was very nice meeting you, Your Highness. I was recording the on the way out. Not a said, oh, the invite tag will be in the mail. I can sign it for you. Yeah. Did you bring you some goodies?
You take checks, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. So,
There you go. Here.
oh, my name is for real. Good, I'm glad it worked out. So, I mean, Bob has my schedule. He has, see, it's all drawn out. where
Oh,
I'm
I
supposed to
see
go.
that. Yeah, that's good.
You were on here at 2:05. We had you scheduled in here. She goes, okay, I'm gonna be there in a minute. Hang on.
You know, I didn't bring you anything right now. Nothing to eat, huh?
August 20th, 2011.